I ran for first selectman of the town of Trumbull because I love this town. I love the people of this town. Trumbull is who I am. It's part of my moral fiber. And I ran for first selectman because I was concerned with the direction we were heading in. I was concerned with the proliferation of for sale signs because people couldn't afford their property taxes. I was concerned that we had an economic development policy that was misguided. We had stagnant grand list growth, our downtown was vacant, we were losing businesses in Trumbull to other communities. And I ran for first selectman because I felt at the time that our educational priorities were misaligned. We weren't focusing on the things that matter, like full-day kindergarten, like low class size, like technology in our schools so our kids can compete in a global economy. And I was concerned that there was an atmosphere of complacency in our government, where people accepted the status quo and didn't see the need for fundamental reform. The status quo wasn't working, and that's why I made the decision to run for first selectman to bring the needed reforms to Trumbull to set us on the right course.
He's in the job that he was meant to be at this time in his life. Tim's past public service and frankly his involvement in the community. He's part of the fabric of Trumbull for so many years, growing up here, going to school here, having his parents be community leaders and such. He was able to get rid of a lot of that learning curve and hit the ground running, and there was no shortage of issues that he had to deal with.
It was pretty challenging when we came into office in December of 2009. We were facing a projected $3 million budget shortfall. We were dealing with two of the largest capital projects in the town's history in progress. $73 million renovation at Trumbull High School, $51 million worth of sewer expansion work. One of those sewer projects was grossly mismanaged with excessive cost overruns. And then 6 weeks into my term, I found out that a company wanted to put a natural gas power plant in the middle of a residential neighborhood.
So we're basically in the heart of Nichols on this beautiful piece of green grass that we called the gas field as kids, which is owned by Southern Connecticut Gas. And it's really just a nice piece of open space that's in the heart of town. And kids have played sports here, and people have just enjoyed as neighbors and citizens.
I was very surprised that they would propose a power plant for a residential neighborhood, a historic residential neighborhood here in Nichols. As
a Nichols resident and someone who is married and has 4 children, basically just a stone's throw from here, I was really concerned. It was really disconcerting that something as mind-boggling as a power plant in the middle of a residential neighborhood on a great little piece of grass was actually being contemplated. And not only contemplated, but sort of really towards the end of happening.
I spoke with Tim's office and got a very positive response that he'd be willing to meet with us immediately, and he was very concerned with what was transpiring.
He quickly got involved, and he absolutely was supportive of the community in every step, and throughout the process, I should say, also at a standing meeting on a weekly basis that Richard was part of, that he was very involved, very helpful.
I got some phone calls from Tim Herbst and started reading some of the comments that he was making publicly, and you start to feel encouraged, and some of that hopelessness starts to fade into some positive action.
He really has a command of complex technical projects like this, sewers, etc. He really is unique and a good guy, good first selectman, and really the right person to be leading this town.
He's the right guy for the job.
From day one, Tim was articulate, bright, showed leadership, kept it positive, and really worked to deny this project that would have been really terrible for the Nichols community and Trumbull in general.
I heard the voters loud and clear in 2009. They were very clear that the status quo was not working, that we needed to change the way we were doing things. We needed to change the way we delivered services. We needed to make government more lean and more efficient and more effective. And I took the approach that if the hardworking men and women and families of the town of Trumbull have to live within their means and manage their household budgets, so should the town of Trumbull.
Tim Herbst, our first selectman, decided, and rightfully so, that we should have a financial goal to tell the taxpayers that we were serious about fiscal responsibility. we decided that we would have a $1 million goal within the first 100 days.
When I ran for first selectman, I said that I was committed to identifying $1 million in operational savings in the first 100 days of my administration. And I'm proud that we were able to do that. We reduced the municipal employee headcount by 9.5 positions. We eliminated the free health care that 39 employees had received in the previous administration that was costing taxpayers $767,000 a year. We rebid our property and casualty insurance to get more competitive rates, saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. So we approached that first budget really going through line by line and identifying inefficiency and duplication and working to make government more lean and more efficient.
My concern was if our paychecks, our Social Security checks, and our pension checks are not going to increase by 11%, where are the senior citizens and people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s going to get the money?
It's crazy. What the cost of living is going up. I mean, you see it in the food stores, you see it at the gas station, you see it in your paycheck, you see it because everybody wants more and more and more of it, and it's going up just everywhere. Even to buy milk, eggs are $3.89 a dozen. I mean, you know.
We're all on fixed income. Some of us have been blessed with being able to save some money. Some of us are relying on Social Security and a small pension maybe. And you know, it's a strain because if, you know, when you see things go higher at the stores, but your income doesn't, you know, that really, you know, puts a huge strain on the senior citizens.
The average tax increase before we arrived here at Town Hall was 6%, twice the rate of inflation. The average tax increase over the last 2 years has been 1.91%, below the current rate of inflation.
My mom actually attended a meeting at the town hall while Baldwin was in office. And she, as well as several of her friends, went to a meeting to complain about their intentions to raise taxes by 11%. And during that meeting, my mother was very insulted because one of the leaders at the town, it wasn't Baldwin, but another leader, looked at her and said, well, maybe it's time for you to move. And that's pretty low to say to a woman who's lived here since 1967.
It makes me very bad, you know. I live here, I never ask for anything. We bought a house, cash. We never have a mortgage. Why can't they do that at Town Hall too, no? Saving money instead of spending stupid.
I think there's a brighter future with Tim Herbst as the first selectman because he is the eyes and ears of the people. He watches their wallets. The bottom line is, in this economy, there's a big difference between spending $5 out of your wallet or $2 out of your wallet. And I think that not only does he watch your wallet and keep taxes down, but he also ensures that the town operates in a clean and ethical manner. And we didn't have that for many, many years.
He made a good decision. He's a smart person, very smart. And I like the way he's doing things.
I am proud of the fact that in these difficult economic times, we have been able to maintain class size, we've avoided teacher layoffs, we've not been required to close any schools, we've maintained the academically gifted program in our schools, we've maintained freshman sports. These are the things that are important. These are the things that directly impact children. My opponents are of the school of thought that a good education can only happen if you consistently spend more each and every year. I am of the school of thought that money is not an automatic panacea to a quality education. It's how you allocate and spend those resources and maximize those resources. If money was the only answer to education, then Trumbull children would not be performing better than Fairfield children in 3 out of 4 areas of the CAP test and in many areas of the Connecticut Mastery Test. Fairfield spends more per pupil on education than the town of Trumbull, yet we're performing better than Fairfield in many areas.
I think Tim was very forward-thinking in realizing that there's a problem here, and it's not a single issue. When people talk about, well, my children in school, it's not a single issue. It's a big picture, and everybody seems to kind of like lose sight of that.
And we've made tremendous technological advances in education over the course of the last 2 years. 115 new computers in our schools, whiteboards in every 5th grade classroom. We've reduced the costs of the Trumbull High School renovation by $9 million while maintaining our state reimbursement. And in the next 1.5 to 2 years, when that school is completed, we're going to have a high school that's going to provide Trumbull kids with a 21st century learning environment.
I want my kids to have the best education as possible. However, if you're taxed out of this great town with people like me who don't make $1 million a year, we want to stay and have a great education. So I think it's very important to keep taxes low in this day and age of everything else around you going up.
I am very proud of what we have accomplished in the area of economic development. When I took office, we had a lot of businesses that were leaving Trumbull. Our grand list took a hit. We had a lot of vacancies in our downtown. And I made a commitment when I ran for first selectman to make economic development a top priority and to get our economy moving again, to grow that grand list, which is so important. A healthy grand list means that we have more commercial tax revenue coming into our town, and this allows us to keep taxes stable for residential homeowners that live in the town of Trumbull. We've just completed a historic $45 million renovation of the Trumbull Mall. We've completed phase 1 of our downtown revitalization. This year, 26 new businesses have signed leases with Trumbull. They're coming to Trumbull. Our grand list grew by $93 million this year. And the growth in our grand list this year, in terms of the percent increase, for the first time in a long time, exceeded the city of Shelton, which we have lost businesses to in a lot of the previous years. The reason why we have received so many accolades from national publications, whether it's U.S. News and World Report, which ranked Trumbull as a top community to retire in, or whether it's Family Circle magazine, which ranked Trumbull the 7th best town in the nation to raise a family, I think the policies that we are pursuing are working.
I believe that Tim has his heart in this town, and he has the interest of the town at all times first on his list.
I've been a Democrat all my life, but I think Tim has done a great job in the past year plus, and I'd feel very comfortable backing Tim.
He's a young man who definitely wants to see this town prosper.
I think he's done a wonderful job.
He tries to be fair, and most important, he makes decisions which really have improved the quality of life for a lot of Trumbull residents.
I see this town becoming the community of choice in Fairfield County over the next 10 years. And I see that with confidence, I see that with hope, and I'm optimistic about the future of Trumbull because I believe in the people of Trumbull. I'm Tim Herbst. I'm proud to be your first selectman, and I approve this message.